Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to this webinar. This webinar is from Zero to SEO Heroes. So throughout this webinar, I am going to assume that you know nothing about SEO and that you're a complete beginner. I'm going to take you through all those steps, learning about what SEO is and how to implement that for your websites. Just to kick things off, a little bit about me. I've been in business for myself since 2005. I run a successful WordPress consultancy business, and I also author quite a few online courses. I'm the organizer of the WordPress Sydney and the Elementor Australia meetup groups. So if you're in Sydney on the end of the month, then do hunt me down, come on, talk to me in person. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that all the links and stuff that I mentioned throughout this webinar, I'm going to post them to a particular page on my website, and I'll give you that page at the end. So that page will contain all the links. It'll contain a link to this presentation and also have the video replay once I package it up and put it up on the website. I can see some of you are in the chat already. So if you have any questions, you can drop them into chat and I can bring them up on the screen like this. So good morning to all of you. Natalia, that's myself, Charmaine, we've got Beth, good morning to you. So drop your questions in the chat if you have them. I'll just let some people have a little bit more time to grab in. Who have we got? Beth, Jenna, Maddie, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Virginia. It's great to have everyone online. And a nice sunny Sydney day. I'm going to start with an SEO overview, just for those who are new to this. I'm just going to level the ground, just assume that everyone doesn't know what SEO is, and we'll just kind of build up from there as we go through the presentation. Hi, Carmel. Nice to have you on board. For those that are wondering, I've got a couple of questions. This is using StreamYard, so the StreamYard online tool, which allows you to do meetings and also webinars as well. And you can control the way that you're on screen, different views like this. Someone was asking about it. There we go. We've got Lee. Good morning, Lee. And Howard as well. Fantastic. Thank you all for coming on board, spending a little bit of time with me this morning. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's go through the SEO overview. I've chopped this webinar up into kind of three areas, and we'll go through each of those 3 areas. Hopefully, we'll build upon those as we go along. Okay, so one big question that I get asked when talking about SEO is, why doesn't my website rank well in Google? Some people actually say, why does Google hate my website? So it's a question I get asked a lot of the time. It can feel kind of personal, right? You know, you've done all this work and, you know, your website's not working. It's not ranking on Google. You're like, you know, what do I do? But please don't take it personally. You don't want to pick a fight with the AI algorithm with Google, especially the Google one. You may feel that you've put a ton of work into creating a great looking website with some useful content, but you're still not ranking where you really want to be. It's likely that you're just not creating the right content, or you're missing some of the SEO core pillars that this course is going to explain for you. So let's start with the basics. SEO, what is SEO? So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And because I'm not American, I spell optimization the correct way, without a Z, even no matter how many times Google Docs, Google Slides, or Grammarly tells me otherwise. So SEO, it's basically a group of strategies to try and get your website pages higher up in the search engine results pages when people are searching for particular keywords. Trish asking, can we touch on SEO for YouTube? If I remember, I'll circle back to that at the end. If not, you can drop it again in the comments and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on. Search engine optimization. So here's an example. So for example, if you were designing and manufacturing cute little unicorn plushies for children, and maybe some adults, then of course you want your products to appear at the top of the Google search results when somebody types in buy unicorn plush, for example. Now, search engine optimization is the strategy that you would apply to try and make that happen, to push your website further up in the rankings. It's a process and a bunch of techniques that tries to make your website landing page or sales page seem like the best fit for that particular search phrase by the Google search algorithm. More about that in a bit. So SEO techniques are applied both on your website and off your website in other places like forums, social media, and places like that. And it only targets the organic, so free search results returned by Google. So we're not talking about those paid ads that you see at the top. They're completely different. We're talking about organic traffic. So that's the stuff that you would normally see, after the ads, in between the ads. So don't worry, I'll explain what organic search results are in a bit. So I'll just keep it, if I'm looking down, I'm just keeping an eye on the chat stream just to make sure there's no questions coming. So why is SEO important for your business? Well, it's important because you're here, right? So the higher you rank in the results pages, the more clicks and traffic your site is going to generate. SEO improves the user experience, making it more likely for customers to become your repeat buyers as well. And SEO is very cost effective. If you are working for a tight budget, SEO is a great way to drive qualified traffic to your site without directly paying for it. Okay, it's your time, as in your time costs money, but there's no kind of money, you're not paying anyone a service to do that. It's really just your time that you're putting into it. Now, there are 8.5 billion Google searches per day. That's a lot of potential website traffic up for grabs. But first, let's understand a little bit about how the search engines work. So the search crawler bots, they're also known as search bots or crawlers. They are automated scripts owned by Google and other search engines, but we're just talking about Google today, that look through websites, they analyze content, they follow all the links they can find on each web page, and then they report this information back to Google. Now, Google feeds this crawler information into their super secret squirrel algorithm to determine how that page and website ranks for certain keywords, and more about keywords later on. The end result is a big ranking index, like a big database of every single web page that Google can find on the web, and this is what is used to determine what results are displayed when you type the keywords into the Google search engine. Now, we don't exactly know what the Google search algorithm is. That is super secret sauce. But research and a lot of very skilled people have determined that some factors that are probably more likely to be used in this particular algorithm. So they are in no particular order of importance: website content, quality and length, core web vitals. Now that includes metrics, measurements like load speed time, usability. It's a relatively new metric that's been rolled out over the past few years. There's page load speed, user experience, quality backlinks, secure HTTP, so that's if you've got an SSL certificate, mobile friendly, social media signals, so that's people coming from social media into your website, schema markup. Now, schema markup's like a special type of language underneath that tells Google what type of information you're presenting. So that could be things like food recipes, it could be a meeting, a video, author information, book information, that sort of stuff. The age of your domain name and the top level domains, that's your .gov.au, .edu, .com, .mil, things like that. So all these particular items, all these particular metrics are fed into this super secret Google engine algorithm to determine where your website ranks for that particular keyword. So these are educated guesses, but it starts to give you a little bit of an insight on what to focus on when performing SEO on your own website or for your client websites. So let's have a look at the search results page returned by a typical Google search. So here are the search results for Buy Unicorn Plush. I've broken the entire page down into 3 parts. This is part 1. This is the top of the page. And here we can see straight away there's paid ads. So paid ads feature right at the top. People are paying money for that. That's how Google make their money. So those are the ones that are shown first. Underneath those, you might see something called a rich snippet. Now, a rich snippet is something that Google has determined is really important from a particular website based on that keyword you've typed in. They could be things like book snippets, they could be recipes, they could be flight times. Here, for example, it is displaying stores where I might be able to buy unicorn plushies and a map on the side. So this is the very top of the page, and this is even before you get into the organic search results, the actual stuff that's coming back that you are looking for. So this is part 2. This is the middle of the search results. So these are what's called the organic results. So we've had paid ads at the top, then we've had some rich snippets just under that, and now we're getting to the actual meat of the stuff. So this is the organic results. These are the results that Google has had a look at. They've determined that these are the best fit for your keyword that you've typed in. These are not paid for. This is just Google's own algorithm that's spitting out these types of things. So this is what we call the organic results. It used to be long ago when Google first started out, all you get is these 10 lists on the front page of Google. Those are all organic ads, but then Google monetized it, and now they've got the rich images. So organic stuff's being pushed down more and more every time. But this is what we're concentrating on. We are concentrating on these organic results. That's what SEO targets, because we can't affect the paid ads unless we pay for them. We can't affect the rich snippets. That's completely under Google's control, but we do have influence over these organic results. This is part 3. This is the bottom of the search engine results page. So underneath all the organic search results, you'll get things like related searches. So Google's looked at your keyword and it's found that other people are typing similar related searches. So it's giving you a list of what they are. And then underneath there are more specific search suggestions, again, based on the keyword that you're looking for, and along with the pagination. So that's, page 1, page 2, all the way along. In reality, nobody really clicks through to page 2, maybe rarely, but page 3 and beyond, nah, it's a no-go area. People kind of generally don't click on it that much. So page 1 and organic results is where you want to focus your efforts on when we're talking about SEO. Okay, so let's look at why we are using SEO and why it's important. So everyone wants to be at number 1 in the search engine results page. Statistics show, and this is from a first page sage.com report, and I'll have a link on the page on my website after this webinar. I'll put all the links that I use here. So everyone wants to be at number 1 in the search engine results page. Stats show that the search results ranked at number 1 position, they get almost 40% of the click-through rate. So click-through rate is just people clicking on that particular link and it takes them to the website. So position number 1 is 40% of all those clicks. Then we've got search position number 2. That's got almost 20%, and then position 3 gets 10%. And well, let's just say positions 4 and below are getting pretty poor, and it just gets worse as we go down the page, with number 10 getting about 2.5% of all those clicks. So the top 3 positions, they scoop up over 50% of all the clicks on the web page, and that's why everyone is looking to rank at those top positions, 1, 2, 3. But certainly on the first page for brand visibility. But click-through rates isn't the only reason to rank high in the results page. High rankings are also going to help you increase your website traffic. They're going to help you increase your brand visibility. So even if you're not number 1 position, people are scanning up and down the results page and page 1. If they see your name there, that's brand visibility. Trust and authority. If Google thinks that you're should be on the first page, well, people will have confidence, they'll have trust in your particular brand and what you have to say, because they do trust Google. The quality of leads as well that you're going to get from the first page is higher than you would get from page 2, 3 and subsequent pages. And conversions and sales, that's the big game. You want people to click through to buy your stuff, buy your services, engage in your stuff, buy your products, and that sort of thing. So it's not all just about the click-through rate. The brand values and visibility of being on page 1 of Google is really important as well. Okay. So results are going to differ from person to person. Google collects information on your browsing habits. So you're likely going to get a search engine results page, or SERPs, they call them, that's personalized to you. So in this example here, I searched Google for the keyword pizza, and the top result was a paid ad for KFC with a link to 19 locations nearby me. So under that is a Google map with local pizza joints near my location. So Google, it uses a myriad of data to return personalized search engine results. Things like your location, the websites you visit, things you buy, your previous search history, even things like your device, information you've entered into forms, and other Google products that you might own. So you need to be aware of personalized search results if you're performing SEO for yourself, but mostly for a client as well, because they are unlikely to see the same results as you because of this personalization. So if you're on the phone with a client and you're saying, oh yeah, I've been doing SEO under this keyword, go and type in, have a look at the results, just bear in mind that the results that they're getting is probably going to be vastly different than the ones you get on your computer in your office when you're typing in. So this is where incognito or private mode can really benefit you. So all the top browsers have this private browsing feature. On Chrome, it's called incognito. Firefox and Safari call it private, and Microsoft Edge call it in private. Now, when browsing in private, the browser creates a temporary session that is isolated from the browser's main session and user data. So in other words, if you're not using that fancy schmancy wording, you're not logged in, so the browser can't associate what you do with your online account. So there's no access to browsing history, there's no tracking cookies or site data, there's no tracking information that you entered into forms. By searching in this incognito mode, you remove most, not all, but most of the personalization you get from a general search results from Google. So Google may grab your IP address and try and figure out your location and use things like that. But in general, it's going to be a kind of more less personalized search result. So if you're performing SEO for clients, you may want to request that they check their top keywords using an incognito or private browsing session so they get a more generalized search result. It's not going to guarantee that you both see the same results, but it can be a lot closer than the regular logged in personal search engine results. So why do I keep referring to Google and not the other search engines? Put simply, Google has the lion's share of online search market. In fact, Google currently has almost 92% dominance in this particular search engine market. So if you flip the stats around, if you were to put all your time and effort into any other search engine, you're only going to reach a maximum of 5% of all that total almost 9 billion search results every day. Now that's not very good. Optimize your website. I suggest that you optimize your website first for Google. It's an absolute must. And then if you're looking to attract more visitors, you might want to then think about optimizing for the other web browsers. But because Google has almost 92%, then you need to focus all your efforts on Google at first. Nika asks, how do you actually search incognito? There will be on your web browser, so for example, in Chrome, there's 3 dots at the very top right-hand side, 3 dots that come down. You can click on that, and then that allows you to do a new tab or a new window or a new incognito window. And that's the same in Safari, it's the same in Firefox. You'll have at the top right somewhere an icon or a list that allows you to bring down, and you'll have these options of new tab, new window, or new incognito. You can, in Windows, I'm a Windows person, not a Mac, but in Windows, if you've got your icons on your desktop or your taskbar, then you can actually right-hand click on the icon, and it'll bring up a link to open in the incognito tab. It still remembers some stuff. Yep, Trish, it does. Incognito mode is the best that you can get to a generalized browsing history. But yeah, Google does remember some things. It shouldn't remember too much of your history. But Google is changing that all the time, the way that incognito works. So it's not a completely depersonalized search, but it's the best that you can get. Great questions. Thank you for those questions. So, yeah, this slide optimized for Google, certainly optimized for them first before you start on any other search engines. And that's general, of course. So if you're If your target market really hate Google for whatever reason, and they are Microsoft focused and they only use Microsoft Edge, then of course, if that's your exact target audience, then you should probably optimize for that search engine first. But because Google has a dominance, it can't hurt by optimizing for Google as well, if that is your particular condition. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what SEO is in general terms, but what does SEO actually look like in action? What do we actually do when we're performing SEO? So, like marketing, SEO is a long haul process. It's not a quick win, so you need to set your expectations accordingly to that. Depending on how much effort that you put in, you're likely to start seeing some results round about the 6-month mark. Results will include, but they're not limited to, things like increased traffic, better social media engagement, longer average time on site. That used to be lower bounce rate, but the new Google Analytics don't have bounce rate, so it's longer average time on site. And of course, your higher ratings in the search engine results page, higher rankings. As I mentioned previously, SEO encompasses a wide range of activities that all play a part in boosting your organic or free search results. So these are some of the 6 important aspects of SEO. They're not all of them. As you'll see, SEO is a broad subject. But these are certainly things that you probably want to be focusing on early on in your SEO endeavors. So things like keyword research. Now, keyword research is essentially finding the correct keywords that people are typing in the search engine to find your content, your products, your services, what you want them to do. Amazing content. So your content needs to give the reader something very useful. It needs to be better than any existing content that already ranks highly for those keywords. That means more or better images, more detail, easier to understand steps, step-by guides, more information, more references, more practical, more personalized type of content. Just better than the stuff that's already ranking. External links, we call these backlinks. So sites that link back to your website pages, that gives your site authority because they are trusting the data, the content that you have on your website, and they're thinking it's useful. So backlinks is really important. It's one of the people think it's one of the big ranking factors for the Google search algorithm. It's not just the number of backlinks as well, it's the quality of the backlinks that matters. So if you've got 1,000 websites that are ranking low, if you've got them linking to your website, that's not going to be as good as 1 or 2 really high authoritative websites like a media website or a military website linking to your content. So internal linking is important as well. It's important that Google can crawl through your website and find all the pages. So you need to make sure that all your content is linked together in like a spider's web. Content marketing, so generating the correct type of content on social media, on your website, and bringing traffic to your website. It's going to get you noticed by Google. And we'll talk about content marketing in a little bit more slides later. And measuring results. So you need to be able to measure the results of your SEO. Otherwise, you don't know what you did well and what you did badly, what's working and what's not working. So these are the key areas, the core key areas that you'd focus in SEO when you're starting on your SEO journey in the beginning. So what do you need to focus on to get the most out of SEO? There are 3 core pillars of SEO. They are technical, they are content, and they are links. So let's have a look at some of these activities that you're going to be performing inside these 3 pillars. Technical SEO. This is making sure that your web page structure of your pages and your articles are readable by Google. Google really doesn't matter. It doesn't care about the aesthetics. It does a little bit, but it doesn't really care, how good looking your website is. It's reading the underlying code. That's the HTML. HTML is the language that web pages are built on. So it's reading that. So that's what you can see on the left-hand side here. That's a typical top of a web page. And this is the HTML structure that builds up that page on the right-hand side. It's not a very fancy page, but it is what it is. So Google is not seeing what you see on the right-hand page. It's not seeing what you see through your eyes. It's reading this HTML structure that the web page is built under. So we need to make sure that HTML structure is good, it's valid, and is readable, and that Google understands what that content means. We're talking about things like the title of your page. Here we can see here we've got the title in here is title tag, and then for things like the URL structure, so that's a URL that you use. The meta description, that's the description that comes up in the Google search results in that page. But other things like your heading tags, so H1 through to H6, H1 being the primary one. You can see that on the screen here is it says primary page header. And in the code, if you look to the left-hand side, you can see that's wrapped in an H1 tag. And you got other tags, H2 through to H6, and then things like image optimization as well. So having the correct size of image for desktop, mobile, iPhone, Retina, and things like that. So technical SEO is all about the structure. It's all about HTML, making sure there's no errors, making sure that Google can read it and understand the content. And it's all laid out, in a nice, structured, orderly manner. So making sure your website passes technical SEO audits are really important because these HTML tags are used to display your site on the Google search engine results page. So here's the URL structure. You can see at the top, when you get the search results page, it will tell you the URL, the link that it's found. And here we can see here's an example for my website. So it's willbrown.com/WP Accelerator. So I've got a name there, I've got a keyword, which is WP Accelerator, what I want. So I use that in my URL. Then we've got the title, Grow Your WordPress Business with WP Accelerator. Again, we've got a keyword in there. And then we've got the meta description that it's picking out from the web page. And you can see it's found those keywords in there as well. So those three important things will help with your SEO, your technical SEO. The URL structure that's not too long. You don't want /2020/1/ all that. You want to keep your URL structure nice and simple. You want to make sure that your title for your web page has your keywords in it and it's relevant to the content, and the description as well is relevant again to the keyword, the URL, and the description and the title. So all these three things are really, really important, and that's what's displayed in the search results page. So fortunately, most popular content management systems like Wix, Squarespace, Joomla, WordPress, Drupal, they already have technical SEO built inside them. So if you're already using a content management system like those, then out of the box, they've already got SEO and they're really, really good at that. So you don't need to do a lot of additional work, if you're using one of these web page builders. So this is a WordPress page that's generated that search engine result on the previous page. You can see that my H1 tag is also the page title tag. And the H2 is the paragraph underneath that. So Google has picked these up. So the page title is Grow Your WordPress Business with WP Accelerator. And the description it's picked up is 8-week structured coaching for WordPress designers and developers. I got that as an H2 tag. These are the first word content on the page. And therefore, the content kind of closer to the top of the page, Google assigns a little bit more importance because that's right at the top of the page. That's what people see when they first land on the page. So when you're designing your pages, you want to have your most important information right at the top of the page. Google looks there to look at what that page is roughly all about, a summary for that. Now, you should have registered your site with Google Analytics and Google Search Console. If you haven't done already, please make sure that you register Google Analytics and Google Search Console with your website. They're both used for different things. Google Search Console, that's what you're seeing just now. That basically analyzes the technical part of your website. So I just grab a glass of water there. And it will tell you all the errors that are coming back. So it's really important. If you don't know how to determine errors in your website, then Google Search Console is your best friend. Link it to your website, it'll analyze it 24/7, and it'll tell you if there's any errors, and then you can then go and fix that. If you don't have this link, then you might be missing a whole ton of errors, and errors in your website, technical SEO, can result in your lower rankings in the search engine results page. So make sure that you link, go to Search Console, have a look for any errors, fix them, and maybe do that on a periodical time, maybe every quarter or something, have a look there and make sure there's no errors. Okay, Part 2 is content. So the second pillar of SEO that you're going to focus on is content. It's all about content, right? When you're searching for your keywords in Google, it's the content that you're looking for. It's the web pages that you want to go and get the information or find the products or find the services that you are searching for. So it's all about building your website content that appeals to your target audience. You want to be using your keywords that they search for. It's going to apply to your particular niche. So things that you're looking for is your content written for a human? Is your content useful and unique? Are your images relevant? Do they have alt tags as well? Do you have a consistent publishing schedule? Does your content have the proper keyword density and length and things like that? That's all the stuff that you should be thinking about with content. And we'll cover a little bit more about that later in some slides. But before you write any content on your website, you should define your niche and your ideal customer avatar. Now, it's kind of difficult to rank a website for everything, like a jack of all trades. So picking a specific niche is definitely the way to go. A niche is just a specialization part of a target market. So maybe you're targeting, maybe you're in the dentist industry. You probably don't want to use keywords like dentist. You might want to be more niche. So maybe you're talking about implants, steel implants for dentists. That would be a niche. So dentist is too broad, but implants would be a kind of niche focus for that. So in general, the more niche you go, the better results you're able to target and manipulate with SEO. But also understand your ideal customer is really, really important. Things like their pain points, their desires, their problems. It's really critical for SEO to work properly. You need to know who you are writing to before you can decide on the SEO keywords that you want your content to rank for. Now, an ideal customer avatar doesn't need to be complicated. You can flesh that out later, but it's really useful to create one. It can be a single page, and then just write down what issues your customers have, what are their pain points, what are their desires, what are the solutions that they are looking for, so that then you can have a good understanding of who you are speaking to and who you are targeting your content at. Question here from Pierre: does Google Search Console cost money, or would it be provided through Wix, etc.? The Google Search Console is free. Well, it's free as in you need to sign up for a Google account, which is free. So Google Search Console is free, and Google Analytics are free tools. They are independent of Wix or WordPress or Squarespace. They'll work with any website. All you need to do is sign up for the console, go through the setup period. There'll be a little bit of code that then you can then copy into your website. I'm not a Wix user, so I don't know the interface, but on WordPress, there are tools that you can then just add the code to that Search Console provides and Google Analytics provides, and it will then link your website with Google, and then it will start to read all your data for those. So no, these things are not paid, they're free, but you do need a Google account that you can log in to the Search Console and to Analytics. Great question, Pierre, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about keyword research. Keyword research is one of the foundational blocks of SEO. If you don't define a set of keywords you would like your site to rank for, then basically all your SEO efforts are basically tantamount to nothing. You've got to have keywords to focus on. So to put it another way, if nobody's searching for what you're writing about, you're not going to get any traffic from Google, no matter how much and hard you try. Keyword research is the process of understanding the language your ideal customers are using when searching for your products, your services, and your content. So this is why it's really important to create at least one ideal customer avatar, one page, to understand your customer before doing any keyword research. You then analyze, compare, and prioritize the best keyword opportunities for your website. Now, keyword research is basically about four things. So here we have search volume, we have rank difficulty, we have rank authority, and related keywords. Now, search volume, that's about establishing how many people are searching for a particular keyword. So too much means that it's saturated. Too little means there's probably nobody's interested. The Goldilocks zone, the Goldilocks volume is somewhere around 100 to 1,000 hits per month. And then you've got like a good search volume. That's what you're kind of looking for. Rank difficulty is establishing how difficult it is to rank for that particular keyword. If you're coming into this game, then people are already ranking for those keywords. And the rank difficulty is how much effort you need to put in to either beat them, or knock them off their game. Rank authority is finding out who is already ranking for that keyword and trying to beat them. So using the same content or better content, same links or better links and more links. And related keywords is suggestions of other similar keywords, related keywords that you could be looking for. Why is keyword research important? It's really the only way to figure out what people are typing into the search engines. You need to know this to avoid creating content about things that no one's searching for. You don't want to waste your effort. You want to make sure that you're creating content for the stuff that people are searching for. Now, many website owners make this mistake, and it's likely a big part of the reason why 90% of all pages on the internet get no organic traffic from Google at all. So according to this Ahrefs study, 90.63% of all pages get no traffic at all because they're not targeting the particular keywords that people are searching for. So keyword research also helps you answer questions like, how hard will it be to rank for this keyword? How much traffic am I likely to get if I rank for this keyword? What kind of content should I create to rank for this keyword? What keywords are my ideal customers searching for? And what sites can I try to get a link from? There's another question here. Take a step back, that's okay. Do you recommend having a specific page targeting my ideal customer? That's a good question, Tim. I would recommend that all your content that you're creating, so your blog posts, your pages, target a particular keyword or search intent that your customers are looking for. So when you're generating blog content, then you're generating lots of content in the hope that it appears in the Google rankings for your particular keywords. When you are talking about products and sales, you ideally want to have a specific one page that is your target, your landing page or sales page that you're hoping to rank for in Google. So when people are looking for that keyword term, that is where they're going through to your website to then find that product or services. So when you're talking about one specific page targeting ideal customer, no, not one page. All your pages, all your content should be targeting what your customers are looking for and the products and solutions that you are then providing. Great question. Trish asks, can you use Google Analytics and Google Search Console for YouTube? No, you can't. The URL that you provide for those, you need to add code to the website in order for Google Search Console and the analytics to track it. You can't add code to the YouTube website. So no, you can't use those to track. Very simple question. How do you do keyword research? That's a good question. I'm going to cover that in the next few slides, Beth. And quick question from Jenna. Are there sites and programs you can use to help develop your keywords? Both good questions. I'm going to answer them just in 1 second. So one thing to keep in mind with SEO is the term keyword. It doesn't mean a single word. I mean, it can mean a single word, but it's more likely to mean a range of words, maybe up to a maximum of 4, maybe 6 words. So we're really talking about a key phrase. So keywords and key phrase or key phrases, they're all kind of interchangeable when you're talking about SEO. And that's the thing that you're trying to rank for. So for example, if you use pizza as a single keyword, maybe you're a pizzeria, it's probably too general. In fact, it is too general. It's likely to have been gobbled up by those big brands, Domino's, Pizza, things like that. What you would be looking for to start out with something like best hot pepperoni pizza. It's better. So it's now a key phrase rather than just a single keyword. So I recommend when you're thinking about these things, unless you've got a really unique niche that no one is in just now, I recommend that you're looking for 2, 3, 4 keywords to put together into a key phrase rather than a single word, because that single word is likely to be dominated by the larger people already in the search results. Then we have something called long tail keyword. You're going to hear that when you're talking about SEO. Often visitors are more likely to use longer keyword phrases when they're closer to a point of purchase. or when they're using something like voice search. So they might start off 1 or 2 keywords as a basic search, but then they're going to start getting more specific once they're looking for, once they're honing in on exactly what they're looking for. So things like best pizza Sydney, it may be a popular search term. However, the vast majority of people are probably going to be typing in more specific, like best pizza in Redfern after 8 p.m. or stuffed crust pizza near Town Hall under $20. So those are really specific. These are long tail keywords. So what these graphs are showing you is that highly popular keyword searches, they actually make up a really small percentage of the overall search volume. They only make up 0.01% of the 2 billion monthly searches. So that's maybe 19 million, but it's still a small number compared with the total 2 billion searches that's done every month. So technically, if you go after long tail keywords, then you're more likely to gain better long-term traffic rather than trying to take up that kind of tiny percentage of top keywords that are probably already being paid for by those big brands anyway. So long tail keywords are probably your best friend when you're starting out. So when you start out, you should probably be creating a list of maybe about 20, maybe 30 keywords or key phrases that represents your online business in the terms of your ideal customers and what they are searching for. So these will be search terms that you want to rank these pages, this content for when somebody types that into the Google search engine. Now, in order to find the best keywords, including search volume, associated keywords, synonyms, etc., you're going to need some help to do that. Now, there are hundreds of SEO keyword tools, and here are some of the popular ones. So, Jenna, this is what you were talking about, other sites and programs that's going to help you develop these keywords. Oh, quick question. Trish asks, did you say that long tail keywords make up only 0.01% of searches? Nope, it's the other way around, Trish. It's the popular, it's like the big keywords like pizza that take up just the 0.01. So if you think of your industry, whatever company, business that you're in, then probably you'll have like 2 or 3 top single words that come to mind. Those are, because those are really popular in your particular niche in your industry. Those are the popular searches. Those only take up like 0.01%. So those are the searches that people will start off with when they don't really know where they're going. They'll type in pizza or pepperoni pizza, and then they'll filter down and they'll look at better searches, and then they'll start to get more granular. So those first keywords are the kind of the popular, the top ones, and that only takes 0.01. The long tail keywords, that's the 99% of everything else that people are searching for. And that's why when you're starting out in SEO, you should probably be focusing on those long tail keywords at first and not those kind of single words that are taken up anyway. Okay, so onto the programs. So here are the top bits of software. I'll make this big screen so you can see. There we go. And the links to these, they're on the screen, but they'll be on in the presentation and on the webpage later on. So you have links to all these. So Ahref, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ahref is hands down the most popular SEO tool on the market right now. It's easy to use, and its reports are highly visual. So Ahref, and it's slightly cheaper than its rival as well. So all this software is paid for software, unfortunately, because SEO is so popular, because it's a big thing. Then most of the really good software, you have to pay for it. It's just one of these things that you have to do. There are free tools out there, but in general, if you want good results, good reporting, good help, then you're probably going to have to pay for one of these tools. So Ahrefs is the most popular at the moment. Number 2 is SEMrush. It's a number 2 tool. It's historically known for its competitor analysis. Ahrefs is actually used to be a backlink tool, but both these tools have kind of evolved into more general SEO tools. So if you're using either one of these, Ahrefs or SEMrush, you're going to be in a good place for your SEO good help. So either of these is a great choice. If I had a choice, if I was putting my money down on the counter, which I do, I would only choose one SEO tool, and it would be Ahrefs, this one here. It does come with a free trial period, I think, so you can have a go and look at that. If you are looking for a little bit of a freer tool, then you could try Uber Suggest. Now, it's a relatively new tool, maybe 5 years old. It's created by digital marketing guru Neil Patel. It's a freemium tool. So what that means is you log in for an account and you get free access, but it's kind of limited. So you're limited in the number of reports you can run per day. You're limited in the data that comes back. But at the end of the day, if you've not got the funds, it is a good free tool that you can use to start with. So it offers all the basic SEO data for free. It does have a daily search limit. It includes keyword research, a rank tracker of up to 150 keywords, something called a site audit. So it'll run through your website to check for those keywords and where they're placed. And it'll do a little bit of backlink analysis to have a look at where you could get links from and where your current website is linking from. Now, you have to subscribe to run more reports or remove the search limit. However, this is probably the cheapest of the best SEO tools on the market at the moment. The key difference between this tool is the breadth of information it supplies in things like keyword reports. So things like age, gender, location, those are the things you're kind of looking for to kind of hone in on keywords. Uber Suggest is clearly focused on keywords, and it may lack some of the features that Ahrefs and SEMrush provides. But as the core of Uber Suggest is 100% free, it is a great starting tool to get used to. Robert's asking, how can I use AI to help me with my keyword research? It's a really good question, and I don't want to dwell too long on this, but I was going to put in a couple of slides about this. I thought, no, I'm going to leave it out because the presentation is already quite long. But seeing as you've asked, AI is a really good tool for bouncing ideas off and generating topics and contents. What you can use for keyword research, you can load ChatGTP by telling it what products, what services you offer, get specific about what they are. You can tell it who your ideal customer avatar is. So copy your ICA data in there. Tell it who your target audience is, their age, their gender, the location, what their buying habits are, what their problems are, what solutions they're looking for. And then you can ask it to generate a list of 20 or 30 or 100 SEO keyword ideas to go through. And it will generate all that sort of stuff. And then you can have a look at those keywords and think, well, actually, they're not really good. Give ChatGPT some more information about where you want the keyword position to go, and just keep asking it to generate more ideas. That's what ChatGPT and AI is really, really good at. Take that information and then refine it and hone it by yourself. Don't just rely on AI to generate all your keywords for those. Certainly, you want to be picking those personally, but AI is really good to kind of bounce ideas, get suggestions, and kind of try to get a list of different keywords and manipulate those keywords list. Trish asks, would those keyword research websites work for YouTube? Yes, YouTube at the end of the day is the second biggest search engine. It's owned by Google anyway. So yes, SEO is really important. All these tips I'm talking about will work on YouTube search as well as on the Google search. Another quick question before I move on. Should I be using website hosting or WordPress hosting to get more traffic to my website? It doesn't really matter what type of hosting. Let's backtrack on that. It doesn't matter what specific hosting. What you're looking for is key metrics in hosting. So like speed is important. Security is important. You'll find these in most web hosting. In general, the cheaper hostings that you go for, I'm going to name names here, things like Crazy Domains, things like those, you're going to get like a cheaper service. You're going to get a slower service for those, not quite as good ranking. And speed is key for speed and security are key for search engine results. So so you look for a decent hosting, and that is going to affect your search engine results. Good question. Do Shopify websites also allow us to put these good SEO practices? Yes, I've used a little bit of Shopify in the past. Shopify pages do have an SEO section. It's not as detailed as things like WordPress or the plugins that you get for those, but it does allow you to perform a little bit of SEO for those. And in general, the page content that you're putting into Shopify, so your product pages, you want to make sure that it's got the proper keywords for the customers that are searching for your products. So yes, this applies to anything, any website. Great questions, thanks. Another choice is WordStream. So WordStream is clearly focused on keywords to use in ad campaigns, but it does give you some free tools and some metrics in their thing. So it's a handy tool if you're strapped for cash. Free results are limited, but it could help you finding handy keywords for your website. So you're looking for things like search volume. So remember I was saying before, the Goldilocks zone is around about 100 to 1,000 search per month. So the first column here is the search volume. So you can see, are people searching for that keyword or are they not? So the key to keyword research, you might have the best keywords in your head, but if no one's searching for it, then you're going to be wasting your effort for that. Last one is Google Keyword Planner. So this is part of Google Ads. It's part of the Advert Creator, but it's free and it gives you very accurate data on average monthly search results for keywords, things like competition ranking, if it's high, medium, or low. That'll give you the difficulty as to if you're trying to target those keywords. And as I mentioned, there are hundreds of SEO keyword research services. Most of the good ones are paid, but some that I've said give a little bit of a free trial, or it's free but there's limited in the results. So choose one and stick with it for about 6 months until you start to see some good results, or you want to move on to something else. So it's good to know where your current website ranks for. If you already have keywords out there that you're using, that you're targeting, where does your website currently rank for that? Again, you can type it in Google, but we talked about personalized results, and somebody mentioned, even the incognito or the private windows still give some personal results back. But you can use tools like this one. This is the Keyword Rank Checker from Ahrefs, and this one is free. So if you know your primary SEO keywords, you can check any website URL. You can check your website URL, or you can check your competitors' website URLs. Type in the keyword, your domain name, the keyword, where you're located. So, Australia, and then enter your keywords. And it's going to maybe take a few minutes to come back, and it'll tell you where your website or your competitor's website ranks, in Google position for that particular thing. It's a great tool. I use this all the time. It's super easy, just to kind of do 2 or 3 sessions, type in your keywords, see exactly where that lies, and it just gives you a bit of an idea how much information and how much time and energy to spend into getting better keywords or trying to get your keyword ranking better. Anna asks, which website builders would you recommend for beginners that would have the most of the feature? Okay, I'm going to circle back to that at the end, because I want to get these primary slides done just now, because we're kind of coming up to the top of the hour. So if you bear with me, Anna, I'll try and circle back to that at the end when we do a kind of general Q&A. Okay, so here are the results from a quick check using this tool. This is the Keyword Rank Checker on my domain. So this is for my 0 Point Development, which is my consultancy website. One of my primary keywords is WordPress Consultant. So you can here, it's come back. So I'm number 4 for WordPress Consultant. Someone types that in Australia in Google. You can see there's a little bit of metrics on the right-hand side here. So DR is domain rating, and that shows the strength of the website's backlink profile compared with others. This is in the Ahrefs database. It's a 100-point scale. It's their own scale. So number 1 being the strongest, 100 being pretty pants. So I'm in the middle with that one. UR is your URL rating, and it shows you the strength of the page link profile. Again, that's on a 1 to 100 point scale. It's looking pretty pants there for me. I'm only 11. The backlinks is the number of backlinks that are coming back into my website that I've searched for here. So I've got 1.4 thousand backlinks. That's external websites linking to this particular page. It's the home page for that website. Traffic is domains is the number of unique domains linking. So out of the 1.4 thousand links, I've got 424 unique domain names that are linking to my website. The traffic that I'm estimated, this is the organic traffic search results that I'm going to get per day. So I'm likely to get 240 links per day for that page, and the keywords. Two links per day for that. And keywords is the number of keywords that the search results ranks for in the top 100 positions in Google. So that's your top 10 pages, but no different goes to page 10. So clearly, I need to do a little bit more work focusing on things like the URL rating. I think about the traffic as well for that. This is a great tool to get an overall understanding of where your website kind of lies for those keywords. So SEO is a continuous process. If you let the ball drop, other websites are going to overtake you in SEO. So you have to be on the ball all the time. Some people get stuck about wondering what type of content to create for content marketing as part of your SEO strategy. Here's a few popular types of content that are fairly easy to create and get some great SEO results. Sorry, just grabbing some water here. So things like blog posts, videos. Someone talked about video SEO for YouTube particularly. So when you're generating videos, transcripts is your key. So Google as yet can't understand, it can't translate the actual video, or it doesn't have time to translate the video, the words spoken. So if you're doing video content as part of your SEO, you need to get it transcribed. Now there's AI tools that will do it for you. There's paid services that you upload your video and it translates it for you, or there's actual services where you just supply the video and a human will then transcribe that and bring that back. So videos, and that's the same as podcasts as well. So if you're doing video or podcasts, make sure that you provide your transcripts with them and put them on your website page that has the video or podcast, or put it in that particular YouTube, put it in the description, add in your subtitles, things like that. That's what Google's going to see when it's ranking through your YouTube or the podcast websites or your website. So transcripts are absolutely fundamental if you're doing videos or podcasts for SEO. Other type of content, well, we've got trending topics. So there's always things that are trending just now. Unfortunately, things like celebrities and what they're doing is always a trending topic. But other things like, the war in Ukraine, the conflict in Israel just now, those are trending topics. And if they link in with your particular target audience, you should be jumping on those trending topics, because that's where the people's eyes are just now. Things like infographics are very well received. Infographics is like a big graphic that people link to. So you get lots of backlinks with using infographics. It's widely shared. Checklists are super good for SEO. People love checklists and people like structured way of doing things. Step 1, do that. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do that. How-tos as well. How-tos are very good. That's what people are searching for, what we call the top of the funnel. So I don't want to go too much into digital marketing, but you've basically got a funnel like that, and you're trying to funnel people down from they don't really know what they want all the way down to the funnel into buying your products and services. So this content here is what we call top of the funnel. This is where people are kind of loosely searching for things. So infographics, checklists, how-tos, and lists are really, really good for getting your website out there and trying to rise in those search engine results. So that's the type of content, if you don't have any idea, type of content you should be focusing on if you're just beginning. Here's some tips on writing some content. So you should get myself right. You should be writing for your ideal customer. So forget about everyone else. So if you're the person that's 90% going to buy your products or service, that's who you want to be writing to, because that's the type of people you want to be attracting to your website. Ensure that your content is useful for your audience. Just don't write for the writing's sake. Ensure that your content is unique and that you have added your own personal take on an existing subject matter, because there is, if you're beginning to the market, there's already going to be content out there, other people's websites that it's already ranking for. So make sure you don't just copy that. Make sure you have your own unique spin on that and add your own personal take as well. When you're writing content, so things like blog posts or landing pages, solve one primary problem for the reader. This is really, really important. So if you've got several services, you should have one page for that one service that you provide, that one problem that the person has. Because if you're mixing up signals within a particular page, it's not going to be able to rank for that particular problem. So really, really important when you're writing content, solve one primary problem for that reader. Focus on one topic. Write as if you were having a conversation with a human, just like I'm talking to you just now. Write as if the person, your ideal customer, is standing right in front of you and you're having a conversation with them. They're asking you a question. But what about? Then bring that question into your content and answer it. So we want to be making sure that your content is flowing and it's human and it's readable. Try and have some sort of consistent publishing schedule. So try not to get into the habit of writing a blog post or a page at once and then having to next week I'm doing the same. Sit down, plan your content, plan your topics, plan your outline, and then spend a bit of time, maybe 1 or 2 hours, maybe 1 or 2 days, and just, write 10 or 15 blog posts and then schedule them out. That way you can be consistent rather than having to wait until, it's Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I've got to write a blog post because I want to do it out on every Wednesday. So do a little planning first and try and ensure a primary consistent publish schedule. Make sure that your primary keywords in the title, the URL, and ideally the first opening paragraph at the top of your content, but don't keyword stuff. So don't just put all those keywords in there just because you need that keyword to rank. Make sure it's done naturally. Use awesome, amazing power words as well throughout your content to boost engagement. And last one is inject your own brand and personality and style and tone into your content. Don't just be bland, don't just copy others, put a little bit of your personal twist into that. Okay, I know I've just hit the 1 hour. This is a long presentation. Sorry for that. I'm going to try and get through all the slides and leave some time at the end for some questions. So let's just power through the last one. This is the last one of the number 3 of the 3 core pillars of SEO. This one is links. So it's split into 2 particular parts. Part 1 is internal linking, and part 2 is external or inbound linking. So part 1, internal linking, I've touched on it before, but ensure that you link to all the pages and articles within your website. This is the primary way that Google indexes your website, goes from link to link. If you have orphan pages, that's pages that aren't linked to and don't link out, then Google's not going to be able to find it and index it. If you're writing new content, make sure that you're linking to your relevant existing content. And also that new bit of content there, make sure that once it's published, go into your existing content and link to that content. And that way you're creating a two-way linkage that Google can go and index your website. Part 2 of link building is external, or what we call inbound links. This is external websites that are linking to your website content. This is the more difficult part. Internal linking you can do. External linking is a little bit more difficult. You do need good quality external links linking back into your website. People have thought it's a real high ranking factor, although they don't know, they expect it's a high ranking factor. In general, the more high quality website links that your website has, the higher your authority and the higher in Google SEO ranking score is going to be, and the higher you're going to climb in the results pages. So again, I did mention before, it's not the number of external links that matter, it's the quality of the website that it's coming from that is the big factor. Link building, it's a process of getting other websites to link to your website to try and get higher in the Google search results. Before I go, Trish has a good question. How do I judge the quality of the links? The SEO tools that I mentioned before, they've got what they call a backlink analyzer. So they will tell you what are good good fit websites to try and get links from. And they've got metrics on the side. So it'll tell you the domain authority, how many, they've got their own metrics. So the higher metrics they are, so like a score of 100 would be super fantastic. A score of 1 would be pretty trashy. That's the way you try and figure your backlinks. Can you do an external link to LinkedIn? Yes. Yep. So anywhere other than your website is called an external link. Yep. No worries, Beth. I'll have the replay on soon, and we're almost done. And we're almost done. So link building is probably one of the hardest parts of SEO because you're asking other people to link back to your website. In general, most white hat link building strategies contain 2 simple steps. You create something that's notable, something that's worthy to your target audience, and then you show it to the other website owners, asking them to link to it. It's basically, it sounds as easy as that, but the actual process is pretty difficult. So links are like votes for search engines to rank highly. As a general rule, pages that have more backlinks, good quality backlinks, are going to rank higher in the search engine results. The SEO software that I previously mentioned, it also helps you identify these websites. So that's what Trish was asking. So these SEO softwares, they've got parts that will analyze competitors or other areas that you can then ask for links to. So here is a simple strategy. If you're looking at trying to do your link building with external websites, when you click on a link, it takes you to a website. If that content is no longer there, then the web server generates what's called a 404 error. So this is a really good beginner strategy, is looking for external websites that have links to content that not that no longer exist. This is called 404 link building. So SEO software like SEO Spyglass, which is another one I didn't have a mention to that, but SEO Spyglass, it's really, really good. But the Ahrefs and SEMrush will also be able to identify competitors' websites that have links that are broken, that you can then, what you basically do is you write a replacement content, you get in contact with the website owner, you say, oh, look, you've got a broken link. Here, I've written a replacement related article that's going to be useful for your users. Can you please, change that link to my website? And having lots of 404 or broken links is actually really bad for SEO. So usually the website owner is going to be quite happy to replace a broken link with your link, if they haven't already noticed that. So that's a good strategy if you're trying to begin with link building, is look for those broken links using the SEO software that I mentioned before, write a replacement content, and then suggest to the website owner that they want to replace that broken link with your website link. Almost there. Here are some tips. So adding links. There's certain types of websites that you can drop your website links into. So someone was asking about LinkedIn. Nika was asking about LinkedIn. Yep. So these are the types of places you want to be dropping your links into, like business directories, social network profiles, social network comments as well. So blog commenting, social commenting, forum and group postings. You want to be a bit careful about forum and group postings because they're more likely to have rules. So just dropping in links to there could get you banned. So make sure that you read the rules of the forums and groups before posting and dropping your links in there. But sites like Quora and Reddit, so people asking questions, how do I do this? Then, it's fair game for you to drop in your how-to blog posts on that, and that will get a link back to those. Sorry, excuse me. Asking for links, again, link building. So guest blogging, so asking websites if you can do a guest blog on their particular website. You can do reviews and case studies of particular services or parts in your niche, in your industry. Skyscraper technique, so that's showing them a better alternative resource than the ones they're already linking to. So similar to broken links, but you can then create a content that's better to what the existing link to, and then say, oh, what you're linking to is already a bit pants. Here, I've written a more comprehensive guide. Can you please change that link? There's a service called Harrow that's help a reporter out. So that's journalists. They request help for their articles. So you can write some help for them. And in exchange in their article, they will mention a link to your website. And that can be quite useful if it's a good media outlet. We talked about broken links, and there's a particular software called SEO Spyglass, which it is really good just for that particular finding broken links. Okay, so some useful stuff. My voice is lagging, sorry. As you can see, SEO is a huge subject with many activities. Some SEO specialists will just focus on maybe 3 or 4 components out of all these 3 pillars. You don't have to do all of it. If you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with all this content, that's okay. Take some time to consume this. Think about what your next steps will be and what you need to do for your business website. Here are some tasks that you could get started on this week, though. Number 1 is planning. So make sure that you know who you're writing to and talking to. Understand their problems, their aspirations. So create your ideal customer avatar. This is going to give you some really good ideas on keywords, who you should be targeting and what you should be targeting to. I have a blog post on this. I'll actually sit down in here. But again, this will be on the links after the webinar is finished. Generate a list of 20, maybe 30 SEO keywords that your ideal customer is searching for that are relevant to your business, products, and services, and use them to generate your content ideas. Number 3 is research the top 5 Google search results. So research the top 5 organic results for each of those keywords that you've generated. Read their articles, read that page. Why do they rank there? Why do they rank where they do? Look at the topics, the solutions they're offering within the content, as well as what external websites are linking to them on that page. This is going to give you a really good idea of what you need to do to rank at that particular position. So Google obviously thinks that that's important. So you should be looking at those results and then thinking about what you can do to better the results and adapt your content within your own website. So don't copy it, just learn and adapt those. Number 4 is outlining some content ideas. So your next process is, once you've done your ideal customer avatar, once you generate your keywords, once you've done your research on those top 5 that are ranking for those keywords, next step is to start outlining some content ideas and start scheduling that content on your website. You can easily spend a few days just generating content. It doesn't need to be huge content. It just needs to be relevant to your target audience, and just start generating, start scheduling out that on your website to kind of boost that content on your website. And again, someone already asked about AI, but I had a little bit in my notes here that ChatGTP is an excellent resource for kind of generating ideas and topics and outlining content and creating schedules as well. That's it. Well done. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I know that was a long one. It was really a long one. This is the link here. I'll copy it in the comments and I'll paste it in here. But if you go to this link here, give me a few hours. I'll have the replay up here. I'll have the presentation slides with all the link and all the links that I've been talking about. Will be in there. So visit that later on today or maybe tomorrow, and all that stuff will be up there for you. So you don't have to worry about anything that I've mentioned throughout all that. Before we close, before we go to some questions, I know there's some WordPress users here. Ask that question on the webinar registration form. If you are a WordPress user, I have an upcoming WordPress SEO masterclass, and I'm going to show you how to actually implement some of this stuff using an SEO plugin called Rank Math. So how to actually practically do some of these SEO strategies within your WordPress webinar. So that webinar is the 21st of October at 10 a.m. You can register. You can find that on this New South Wales Small Business website by searching for WordPress SEO. Okay, I am going to, if you haven't done already, drop some questions. And if you've got some time, I know I went over the time, sorry about that. If you have any questions, then you can drop them in the chat and I'll try my best to go through and answer some of those. Okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go up a little bit because I know I missed some up here. Okay. Tim is asking, is Google's autocomplete feature an effective way to find relevant keywords or long tail keyword suggestions? It is one of the best sources to go, Tim. You nailed it. So when you're looking for keywords, as well as thinking about keywords in your industry, you should be typing in some of those keywords and looking right at the very bottom of the Google search results page. I had a slide on it earlier. It's called relevant topics. So that gives you some good ideas, but also the autocomplete feature. So if you start typing in some of your keywords, so for example, for me, if I would type in WordPress space and then consultant, and then whatever comes up after that, that's the autocomplete. So Google is looking at what people are already typing in, and then it suggests what the majority of people are typing in based on what your keywords are. So the autocomplete is one of the best ways to find out relevant keywords. Once you've narrowed down some of your keywords, type them into Google and see what it's coming up with, see what it's autocomplete, and that might give you some better ideas. It might give you some alternative ideas for that. And this also works in YouTube. I know someone's been asking about YouTube SEO. This also works in YouTube, exactly the same. Go to the YouTube search and start typing your keyword and see what's coming down, see what the autocomplete are. So that's going to give you some really good ideas on what people are actually searching for. Another good website is Answer the Public. That again has been bought by Neil Patel, the digital marketing man. But if you do answerthepublic.com, it is, and type in some keywords about your industry, it also gives you all the questions that people are typing into Google. That's a good place to start. Let's see. Yep, I've done that one. I've done the products. Something about hashtags. Anna asks, also, would you be talking about the hashtags? I know this is not relevant for a website, but just some tips on social media. Yep, so hashtags are really good. Social media is relevant in SEO. It's one of the things that you should be doing. So you're promoting your website content on SEO on social media. So that it doesn't just mean Facebook, doesn't just mean Twitter or Instagram. It also means things like Quora or Reddit, their social media, LinkedIn as well. Use hashtags that are relevant, that have got a good number of hits to it, to then draw attention to your content when you're dropping it in there. So yeah, hashtags is relevant. You should be looking at trying to find out where the top hashtags are for your business. The quality of links. Oh, here's a good one, Robert. Good one. What's your opinion on buying links? My opinion is never do that. So there's what we call white hat SEO, which is the good side of the force, and there's black hat SEO, which is the dark side of the force. That's your Darth Vader type stuff. If you're buying links, you more likely or not, they're going to be pretty dodgy links because Google frowns upon this process. You might get away with it, but if you are found out, the consequences are just terrible. You're going to get blacklisted from search results for that. You know, your SEO ranking metrics are going to get wiped by Google. You're going to get, you know, flipped off the whole ranking thing if you're found out. So yeah, it's not a good thing. I know it's an easy way to do it, and you might have had some business that already have tried it, but in general, you're probably going to get found out. And you know, I think in general, the types of links that people are selling or linking to, if they've got access to those websites, it's probably not going to be pretty good authority for those. So try and avoid that one there. Let's see. Okay, I can't see any particular questions. We've got a lot of thanks. Pauline, you are welcome. No problem at all. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Trish and Amy and Natalia as well. You're more than welcome. This was aimed at beginner. So, you know, there's heaps of stuff in SEO, but, you know, you've got to start somewhere. Follow-up links. Yeah, your links will be up there later. I'll have to rest my voice. We've done the autocomplete one. That's a really good question. Thank you. Charmaine has one. Do I understand correctly that for every blog I write, I should do keyword research that you're mentioning on every blog? Can I go back and research keyword for old blogs and rewrite them? Yep, you hit upon 3 good points here, Charmaine. Yep, everything you write online, you should be targeting your ideal customer for that. As I mentioned before, there's a funnel. A marketing funnel for digital marketing. People who are not looking for a specific product, they're kind of hovering around the top of your funnel. So when you're writing how-to guides and you're doing that type of content, when people are searching for that, that's the content you're hoping them to come across. There's no point in writing content for people who you don't want to go down that funnel, ultimately buy your product or use your services. All the content that you write is trying to get all those people down into the funnel closer towards that buy or get in contact with you or pick up the phone. So everything you write should be focused towards that particular funnel, your target audience, at the different stages that they're at. And that's what the funnel is. People at the top of the stage don't really know what they're looking for. They know that there's a problem, an issue that they have, and they're kind of just doing general searches to see, you know, roughly what's out there. The people in the middle of the sales funnel, they know that they have a problem. They know that there's products and solutions out there, and they're looking for more detail on those products and solutions. This is where you'd be generating content like case studies and showing how your product, your services helped other people, you know, with that particular problem. That's the stuff that people in the middle of the funnel are going. And then once people have done research on your particular product and services, that's them down at the bottom of the funnel. And you're basically, then you should bring in things like customer testimonials, super benefits, other people who have already used your product and services and you've got these fantastic results. And that's the kind of pushing them over to commit to buy your product, buy your services, or pick up the phone and chat with you more. So that's the kind of funnel. People who don't really know what they're doing, you're funneling them down this funnel all the way towards your sales products and your services to ultimately click and you know, engage with them. So yes, that was a kind of long way to answer. Yes, everything you write should be focused on your customers, your intent. So what keywords are they searching for that? Should I go back and research keywords for my old blogs and rewrite them? Yes, you should. Have a look at where they're ranking first. You know, on Google, obviously, if they're ranking on page 1 at 1, 2, 3, 4, you kind of don't want to mess with that. But if they're on page 2, then that's probably your best hits. So try and find all your old blog posts that are ranking on page 2. Do a little bit more keyword research as to what people are looking for in that particular topic, and then add those keywords and try and bump that from page 2 up to page 1. That's probably your best option for those. So great question, super question. Okay, you're looking for questions. Pierre says, thanks so much for the above. A silly question, how do you tag your keywords pizza, hot pepperoni? Okay, if that was your particular keyword phrase, Pierre, then you'd be looking to have blog posts about pepperoni pizzas. What's the best pepperoni pizza? What's the average? What's the best diameter or thickness of pepperoni you have on your pizza? What types of pepperoni are there? There's hot pepperoni, there's mild pepperoni. What's the quality of the meat coming from? Is it locally sourced? Is it Australian pepperoni? That's the sort of content that you're looking for. And within those blog posts that you're creating, you want to then tag that pizza, hot pepperoni or hot pepperoni pizza within that content. Not too much, because that's stuffing, but you'd certainly want that somewhere in the URL, so for example, Australian, locally sourced Australian pepperoni, that would be your URL. So you've got your, for pizza. So you've got your keywords in there. Obviously you want to target the title, because that's what comes up in the search results. And in that first paragraph, as I was talking about, in the top page, you want to mention those keywords. So those are the key places to have keywords in your URL, keywords in your page title, and keywords in that kind of opening paragraph that you want. And then complement that with keywords throughout your content. But then you want to mix them around as well, and then use adjacent keywords as well. So hot pepperoni, you might want mild pepperoni, quality pepperoni, locally sourced pepperoni, things like that. So great question. Thanks, Pierre. Amy asks, should I choose informative keywords or indicative keywords? You should be using keywords based on people's search intent. So that's the keywords that they are typing into Google and the reason that they are typing those. What are they looking for? That's the intent. Are they looking for a product? Are they looking to buy a product, buy a service? Are they looking for general information? Are they looking for specialized information? Are they looking for location? Are they looking for phone numbers? Are they looking for... That's the intent that the people are. So it doesn't matter if it's informative or indicative. What matters is what they're typing in and their intent. Are they want to go to a page? Are they looking for a phone number, an address, that sort of stuff? Great question, Amy. Nika, I'm going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. So, do you help set up websites? I'm a beginner and not very technical and would love some help. Yes, my primary role is website creation, website maintenance, website consultancy for WordPress. So I do help people set up WordPress websites for those. So if that is you, send me an email to will@willbrown.com. That's my website, or there's contact forms on there, and get in contact with me, and I'll try and help you as much as I can. I'll send information out and help you get started on that. Okay, no more questions. That was the last one. Lots of thanks. Thanks very much. I am going to wrap up today. Thank you so much for spending that time. I know we went massively over. I'm really sorry for that. But it is such a big topic with SEO, and I wanted to give you the most bang for your bucks out of that. So thanks again for watching. Visit the willbrown.com/SBM link, and I'll have this replay up soon, and all the links for the presentation will be up on that. So thank you so much. Take care. Hopefully see you on some other webinars. Do get in contact with me if you've got any more questions about that. There's actually a contact form on that page. And take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.